Hey, Light Shiners. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you all for all of your support on the Clock app as well as here on YouTube. Please, as we're doing these videos, please make sure you're leaving comments so I can know what you guys are thinking about the videos, and also leave suggestions of what you want me to speak on next. But today, as promised, we're going to speak about the adoption fog. So let's look at what Google says about the adoption fog. Being in the fog represents denial. Denial of the loss inherent to being adopted. Being in the fog is haunting too. Adoption loss is stored in our implicit memories and bodies. In a way, we are haunted by it until it lifts and we allow the loss to become visible. So, if you ask any professional or any adoptee, their definition of the fog is a little bit different. So on this video, I really encourage you all to go do some research on the adoption fog and what it is. Also look at the triad fog because adoptive parents and biological parents can experience similar fog. But today I want to talk about what I personally believe what the adoption fog is, how I got out of it, and what's the signs to look for. So let's just start with the word fog. For me, I use an acronym for FOG. FOG for fear, obligation, and guilt. So when you're in the fog, every adoptee experiences the fear of being rejected, the fear of denial, fear of being returned. Fear when it comes to adoption is so crippling. As an adoptee myself, I was just always afraid of messing up. And I tried my best to not get anyone upset. But we're humans and we're going to make mistakes. And especially as an adopted person, I'm dealing with emotions that most kids don't have to deal with. So on the flip side, my adoptive parents also experienced part of the fog. Their fear was that my birth parents would come back and take me back. I would end up back in the system, that they weren't good enough. So they also experienced fear. But on this video, I'm going to speak more about the fog for adoptees. I would love to have a birth parent on, or have one of you all as a birth parent or first parent make a video explaining how you experience the fog as well. So second is obligation. As adoptees, we feel obligated to be grateful. We're always told you could have been aborted, you could have been left in an orphanage, you could have been dead, but we saved you. And we feel obligated to our adoptive parents to be successful, to do good in school, to not make any mistakes, to love our adoption even if our adoption is negative and abusive. We feel obligated because of what society has told us over the years of that we should be grateful and we should feel guilty if we don't. So that brings us to our next is the G, which is guilt. Once you start to get out of the fog, once you start to face your fears of and understand that you're not obligated to love or respect or try to make this adoption work, it takes everyone in the triad to make an adoption work. You feel guilty. You will feel guilt. For me, it was the realization that my adoptive parents did not love me the way that they said. It was the realization that if they truly did love me, if they truly did center me, I wouldn't be a homeless teenager on the street digging through the trash. I felt guilt for not succeeding as an adoptee. I also felt guilt for finally realizing that these people don't love you and it's okay to move on. Once you can get through the fear, the obligation, and the guilt, the fog starts to lift. And once the fog lifts, you're able to see your adoption for what it is, which is trauma, which was a traumatic event for you. And then you start to reflect on your other behaviors and the other incidents that you've come up into your life, and you can start to put the pieces together of, oh, well, I had that emotional response because of the fog that I was in. I encourage you all to please, please, please start listening to adoptees about their fog and support them through the fog. There's a lot of adoptees who come out of the fog who still love their parents, who still want to be a part of their adoptive parents' lives. And then there are some of us who are just like, yeah, we got, okay? We got. And for good reasons, we don't want to be part of that relationship anymore because of our emotional or sometimes physical safety. So I encourage you all to talk about the fog with your adoptees. speak on it, encourage them to express their feelings. And as always, leave a comment in the comment section. This page, I want this page and this platform to be very educational, but also transactional, so we can learn from each other's experiences. And the more experiences that we learn from, the more better picture that we're going to have about adoption. So I encourage you all to do that. And if you have anything else you want me to cover, I'm going to try to make these videos between like 5 and like no more than 10 minutes, because I feel like after 10 minutes people stop listening. So if you have anything else you want me to cover this week, please leave them in the comments as well. And as always, like I say every week, always shine your light, because you never know who you're guiding out of the fog.